Oh, there you are. Turn this up.
Let me get my fangirl out. Okay. How are you, love?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
Good. I am so excited about today because I was like, they was like, you need to call up. I was like, I'm not feeling good. I was like,
No way.
I'm gonna figure this thing out. Well, if y'all don't know, well, first of all, welcome to Pop Your Shit.
Thank you.
I
Thank you for
appreciate you
having
for
me.
coming on. So, if you guys don't know who this lady is, this is one of our favorite comfort authors. This is the wonderful, the beautiful, the talented Shvonne Latrice. Welcome. Hey, L. Osborne. Okay, so let's, ma'am, Miss Author, ma'am. Ricky A.K.
Oh
Tony
wow.
Racco. Where these people come from?
Majority up here. That doesn't say anything about me though. Um, and some of it's just like the type of guys that I witnessed growing up just out here in LA. So yeah, it's just a mixture of that. So it's some crazy ones out here for sure.
When I tell you, me and my book bestie, one of them, her name is Bianca Books and Lux 90. I had her on the podcast, and we were talking about who's your book husband, who you
Mhm.
slide. I mean, who's your book husband, who's your book boyfriend, who you sliding with.
Okay.
That fool said Tony Wacko. But I tell you,
As her husband?
as her husband, but I tell you, I laughed so hard.
It's a good choice.
Give me something, because I was
Never
like
gonna be
Tony
bored.
Wacko though.
You never gonna be bored.
Ever.
Mm-mm.
She was serious though. Oh, I wish I could play that clip for you because you would probably crack all the way up. Because she was serious as a
Yeah.
heart attack. And when I tell you, I leaned to this chair and I went to the left, she was so serious. So I have you as the author of the Crenshaw Kings, the author of Boss Chicks, which is my favorite.
Oh, really? Okay.
Oh my God, I love the
That's
Boss
nice to
Chicks.
hear. I
They
feel
was
like a lot of
crazy.
people don't mention that series.
The Boss Chicks?
Mhm.
Oh yes. Oh yes. Nobody Can Love You like the Roughnecks do with Belly and Blaze.
Yeah.
King and Queens of the Hood with Andrika and Crucial.
Yeah.
She got it bad for a heartless gangster, Ricky AK, and what is her name? Drayla.
Yes.
The Hood gave the Hood all her fine. Wait a minute. Gave her all the Hood's finest.
So,
Listen, ma'am. Bangers.
thank you. Thank
All
you.
bangers for me. I mean, anytime I get into a reading slip, I always go to your catalog.
Really? That's a huge compliment for real. It is.
Yes, yes. We were talking about. I mean, even though it's toxic as hell,
Yes. Yes. I always got to throw in a little toxicity.
but it is. It is so LA
Mm-hmm.
because I'm in Northern California.
Oh,
I'm in
okay.
Oakland,
Okay.
and when you talk about some of the stuff that be going on, I was like, "Ooh, that's so LA right there."
Yeah. Well, that's a good thing because that's what I want. I want for people to read that and say that. So.
Yeah, that listen. I was like when you're naming off some of the streets because I just actually left LA last weekend,
Okay.
and I was like, I remember that, I remember
Yeah.
that, I know that, I know that. So
Yeah.
yes. So currently I am reading Asif's book. Is it Asif?
Yes.
Am I saying it right?
Mm-hmm.
What is wrong with them people?
Who? Wait, who are you talking about?
What is the girl's name that's in love with him?
Oh, Milan. Yeah.
Milan.
Yeah. Poor
What is
thing.
wrong with her? He didn't already told that lady.
Yeah.
But why?
Yeah.
Because I mean, and it's not far fetched. Because women they act like that.
Mm-hmm.
When a man tell you what it is,
Yeah. I've met plenty. I've even had someone be like, "You don't think that over time he'll start?" And I'm like,
no.
"No, he straight up told you that he don't."
And if he wants you, he
No.
gonna come get you.
Right. And I think that's what, because in real life, some ladies don't understand that if a man wants you, you're not going to be guessing or wondering or having to convince him. He's going to make it clear, because men don't want another man to get you if they want you. So they're not going to waste any time by playing any type of game. So, but she's not mature. Obviously, she's very naive, and she's very immature. So yeah, she just has an immature mindset. So that's her downfall, unfortunately.
When I tell you, I'm in this book like this.
Yeah.
All your books, it's like my father would be like, hello, 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 and I was like, I'm busy, sorry.
Right, yeah.
I'm in this one, but why are people talking about boss chicks?
I don't know. It's just part of the game, I guess you could call it. Some books are super popular, some are not. I don't know why. I can't even tell you. As long as I've been writing, it's always like you never know when you drop a book. Sometimes you'll drop a book and you like this gonna be the one, and it's like no crickets. Yeah, and then sometimes you're like, I don't know how people gonna like this, and then it blows up and it goes like. But that's why I always tell other authors when I do consulting and stuff, like, just write what you want, because you never know. If you try to sit there and write something you don't really want to write just to please people, it still may not even do anything. So, write what you want, have fun with it. Cause like with the marriage favor, I obviously I like all my books. I'm biased. But when I put it out, I was kind of like, I don't know how this is gonna go. And like it did, it exceeded my expectations. So it's just like you never know. You just got to put the book out and find out. So
Did you think the marriage favor would get as much praise as it is getting now?
no, I mean, I just didn't know. I didn't think that it would get as popular as it did, but I didn't know which way it would go. So I was pleasantly surprised for sure. Uh, I don't think I don't know. It's different because King and Queen of the Hood is like one of my most successful as far as like numbers,
Mm-hmm.
how high it was charting. But the Marriage Favor is my most successful as far as longevity. Like that actually stuck around. Whereas I felt like King and Queen of the Hood was popular, but it also quickly went away. If that makes sense.
How long have you been writing?
I started writing. Well, I was published in July of 2015. So, and I've been writing full time since then. So almost 10 years. It'll be 10 years in July of this year. So a pretty long time.
Ma'am, you have 80, how many books?
I have about 76, 77.
I thought it was 81. Something told me maybe I counted wrong, but I was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, it's about 76, 77. Yeah.
let's talk about the Crenshaw Kings for a little bit. So the most hated one is Kari.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
But why? Why? Because Kari was just he had issues.
Yeah. I don't, I mean, I get disliking him in the Marriage Favor, of course, because he wasn't really a likable character. Um, I don't really understand the continue of it though. Like once he's grown up and he's older, I don't really get that part. But I guess it's just some people just can't move on from what something that they read. But yeah, I don't get it, because I think people forget that he was going through a lot at that time.
Right.
He's the oldest, so he didn't have an older brother or older brothers to kind of look up to. It was just him. All he had was his father, and his father turned out to be a fraud. And not only that, a fraud that everybody knows about. And kids are mean, so
Exactly.
being teased about having a gay father. He's being teased that we can go see your mother naked. Now it's this guy coming around. He's in my mother's face. He's doing things for my mother that I've always wanted to do for my mother. So it was just too much for him at one time, and he was young, so he did not know how to process that. So I think people are just so focused on wanting Prime and Lasara to be together and looking at Kari as more of a bump in their relationship, instead of looking at him as just the character and what he was kind of dealing with. So yeah, that's just kind of what I think it is. Because other than that, I don't get it. But hey, everybody has their opinion. So
but the most loved that I hear, and I wouldn't say
Yeah.
he's the most loved for me was LaQuay.
Yeah. Yeah. He's pretty popular. Yeah. 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 Yeah, I mean, I like them all. So, I mean, you just never know. But yeah, he seems to be pretty popular. I see Asif is kind of the main one giving him competition. So, yeah. But yeah, so far prior to Asif, yeah, definitely I would say LaQuay was the most popular. But now I'm seeing that a lot of people are Team Asif for sure.
Do you feel the pressure to do Unique and Banks?
Well, yeah, I feel pressure with any book I write, but I don't write books to write book bays, you know. If you like the guy, that's amazing. That's even better. That's a plus if you love him, but I write it mainly just to tell this story about these characters. And if it comes out that you are in love with the main male character, I love that. That's amazing. But yeah, no, I don't feel any pressure in that like to make Unique be like the most loved or anything like that. No, but I do like to make each story good. I want every book for you to enjoy it, whether it's a book bay or not, because I read plenty of books and the books were amazing, 5 stars. The man was not bay for me, but that was
The
a
book was good.
it was still a good book. I don't have any notes for it. So that's my main goal.
For Banks' story,
Hmm.
she got these crazy ass big brothers.
Yeah.
How
So
you gonna do that? How?
yeah,
How? I mean, I know that you will,
yeah,
but it's just like how she gonna get past all the big brothers and then her daddy crazy as hell too.
yeah. So the thing about Banks is she's a very I don't want to say wild, but she's a very outgoing, extroverted person. So yeah, she has them there, hawking her, but she's gonna do what she wants to do because that's just her personality, which they've kind of hinted at throughout the series that she can have a little bit of a wild side. I don't know how far you've gotten into a Steve's book, but he mentions how he doesn't leave his car running when he has
Right,
customers
when she's in the car.
because
Yes.
she's the type that will be, doing donuts in his car while he's in the store. So yeah, so that's kind of gonna be part of how she gets to get some of her independence because though yes, she does respect her brothers and of course her father, she's gonna do what she wants to do, especially when because in her story she's gonna be a grown woman, so you're not gonna be able to just tell her what to do like you are now where she's 17.
Did we
So
get a little bit of an Easter egg in this book?
um it's a little bit, yeah.
I,
And,
I figured it out.
yeah. Yeah, you get an Easter egg, but you may not know what the Easter egg is. You may think you do, but you could be wrong.
I could, but I could be right. I don't want to say what the Easter egg is because you guys need to read it.
Right, right. Yeah, you could be right though. You're right. You could be
It
right.
could be a potential for Banks.
I don't know.
I hope so because I kind of like him. Somebody's got to take over for a seat when he decide he ready to give it up.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Don't listen. um, do you have a favorite character in your catalog?
My whole catalog. Don't be shocked. I would probably say Tony Wacko.
I'm not
um,
shocked. I just laughed at Dianca oh crazy ass because she
yeah.
but I tell you, she was like, "Oh my God, it's so many."
Yeah.
Oh, and she was
Yeah.
nervous. She goes, "Tony Backo," and I just think that I was like, "I know you lying."
Yeah, I love all my characters. But him, I think he had one of the best character arcs because he kind of started one way, and then by the time you get to book 5, he had grown so much. And I just admire characters like that you actually see them growing and learning. And I like the characters that are from page one, they're already mature and all that too. But I think I just have a favorite when I read books where I see a character actually like growing and learning. And especially in his case, because he wasn't that great of a guy in the beginning. And so to see the type of man he is in book five, it's like, oh, that was nice. That was a nice little journey. So yeah, I think that's my favorite.
I'm gonna dare to say my favorite is Ricky AK.
Okay, yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna dare to
I'm not
say that's
surprised
my
by that
favorite.
one.
Huh?
I'm not surprised by that one, yeah.
I'm gonna dare to say Ricky AK is my favorite, but I like Belly too.
Yeah, uh-huh. Yeah.
Why are y'all
Yeah,
in here going, Ricky?
yeah.
Stop.
Ricky AK, yeah, he's a pretty popular choice. So yeah. I know a lot of people that are feeling him. So but yeah, I like Ricky AK too, but I think Tony Wacko is just my favorite of them all.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Ocean. Let's talking about a biopic just a little bit. Just a little
Oh
bit.
Lord. Mm-hmm.
Why the stalking? Because he was bad shit
Mm-hmm.
crazy.
Yeah, yeah. So it was a couple things. Yes, he was crazy. But it wasn't, I wouldn't say an ego thing, but it was more so like that was a woman that he really wanted. And it's like he tried, not enough, but he did try, the traditional way, asking her for a number of things of that nature, and um, she wouldn't bite. So it was kind of like in his mind, because he is all obviously not all the way there. He felt like that was the only way that he could get this woman, which he felt like this is the only woman for me. Like I don't want to look for somebody else. This is who I want. She's not gonna just give me her number and let it happen naturally. So I'm gonna have to I'm gonna have to play God a little bit, play puppeteering. So that was his thing.
Okay, so applying. Okay, I'm trying to rate the books that I love. I mean, of course, I love the Crenshaw Kings.
Yeah.
I think they are the best.
Mm-hmm.
Can't pick. I want to say the. I don't know why people are not talking about Boss Chicks, but I'm gonna need y'all to read it.
Yes.
I don't know. It's on audio. That's all I know. That's how I heard it.
Yes.
And it was a time for me because them girls was bad shit crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Lyle was nothing to play with.
No.
They had a strip club, y'all. She wasn't playing no games. And okay,
Uh,
and then you had what was his name? Oh my god, what is his name? Blackman.
oh yeah. I was like, is she talking about boss chicks? Yes. Quandreas.
Where do you get the names from? Where the character names?
Honestly, I create the character, their personality, their looks, and then I kind of just think like, what would this person's name be? And that's kind of how I come up with the name. And I felt like he needed to have a name like that. Like that's just the vibe he gave me.
Because
So
your names are very like when you write a book, they be like, okay, I know this character. They don't forget them character names. I was like,
yeah.
and they're not like anybody else's name because to me they're so LA. These names are so
Yeah.
LA to me.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. I can't pick. Okay, question: who is your book husband, your book boyfriend, and who you sliding with out of your catalog?
The whole catalog. Ooh, let me think.
You can have more than one.
Oh, for each?
Bro, who you can have more than one, however you want to go.
Okay.
Because I'm a book Jezebel, so I
Yeah.
know. So,
Book husband. I would probably pick, of course, Tony. He has to be chosen. Um, who else? Who else? I've written so many books. I'm trying to make sure I'm like I got everybody. Definitely would pick Asif. Who else? Who else? And Bashar, yeah. Bashar is definitely husband vibes. Like, please. Thank
Yes,
you.
yes, Bashar
Sign me
was
up.
is that man.
For a book boyfriend, I would do definitely LaQuay, Simone, because they give me really good boyfriend vibes.
Mm-hmm.
Like you got an amazing boyfriend. Um, who else? Who else? Who else? Can't do Belly because he's just that's too stressful. I feel like I wouldn't have a good time. I would be stressed. I would start smoking cigarettes. Um, oh yeah, Mischief. How did I forget him? Definitely Mischief. Okay, for boyfriend and sliding. Let's see. Trying to remember everybody. I'm like going through my whole catalog. Definitely Glockman. Teflon. I know a lot of people don't know him. Um, mm, and Crucial. Only reason Crucial is at that level is because he's a little bit too crazy. So, so yeah.
Child. I'm trying to think who's my book husband. So my book husband, I like Asif
Mhm.
and I like Bashar. My book boyfriend, all the Crenshaw Kings. And I slide with everybody else. I don't know. I think let me look at this list
But
again.
you deserve to have them all. So
But I'm a slide with what's the brother after Bashar?
Simone.
Is he the one that had the same girlfriend as LaQuay?
Oh no, you talking about Shakur?
Shakur.
Mhm.
Shakur is he's I'm sliding with him.
Yeah, I just imagined him like to be extra fine. I don't know what it was about his character.
And he fine.
Yeah,
In
of
my
course I
head.
imagined all of them to be handsome, attractive, but I don't know, something about him that I just imagined him to be like super fine for some reason. I don't know.
Are you a do you outline or do you just write?
Mm, so I do a little bit of both. Okay, so King and Queen of the Hood released in 2021. So from the time I started 2015 to 21, I did not outline. I just sat at the computer and made this book up as I went. After I had my daughter, I didn't have as much time to just sit at the computer and make up stuff. So I would have to outline, but I do it very minimally because I don't want to completely take away that ability to just be able to create stuff. So I'll just do like maybe a sentence
Mm-hmm.
of kind of where I want this chapter to go in what direction, and then I'll just free write based on that. So it's kind of like,
Ma'am, I don't know what your formula is. And when I say ma'am, I mean Miss Arthur, ma'am.
yeah.
I don't know what your formula is, but it worked. It
Thank
worked
you.
because you be having us over here in chokeholds. Listen, I just slid down this whole door a couple of times.
Oh my god.
A couple of times. And I'm sure you've seen a church had it too. Um, what made you fall in love with writing?
So I've always enjoyed writing because I loved to read. I used to read so much like all the time as I was growing up. So naturally I liked to write. However, because I read so much, I knew books were a lot of work. So I was like, I'm not writing no books. Like, no. I want to write like TV shows, movies, because those are less detailed. Meaning, just for example, like in a book, you kind of have to write how they feel in the moment, facial expressions, them walking from one room to another, just stuff like that. And with TV, you could kind of just like, okay, they're in the kitchen now. Like you don't have to do all the details. So I was like, I'm not doing that. So then I got into school where we were doing like TV, film, and writing. And one of the directors told me, he's like, you're a little bit of a control freak over what you write. He was like, you may want to try books, because books, you have a little bit more control over your work, whereas TV, you kind of have to let other people change things or give you ideas, or if you sell it, they can change whatever they want. And again, I was like, no. But then I got like a job that I really hated. So I was like, you know what? Let me try this book thing. Let me try it out, because I can't work here. I think that was God, because I'd never had a job in the past that I like hated like that. Like that was the first time I worked somewhere. It was literally like, I cannot work here. Like I cannot work here another day. And I wrote the book and I sent it to a publisher just to get some feedback. And they were like, no, we want to sign you. Like, this is really good. And from there, it was just, yeah. I went on leave at work so I could write. And then when I started to see that the books were doing pretty good to where I could live off of it, I quit.
How do you become a full-time author? Because not everybody is a full-time author. Is that hard to do?
Well, this is the thing. Like I used to tell authors when I had them signed to me, whatever you treat like a hobby will stay a hobby. So, if you only write here and there, occasionally, not every time, occasionally some people will write that one book and it just blows up and does amazing. But you have to be consistent, and it's harder to be consistent when you have a job, because that job is taking up most of your day, which is why I went on leave. So that I could focus on being consistent. And that's the biggest thing. You want to actually set aside time. So if you have to work, because I know not everybody can go on leave or whatever, set up, just make sure you prioritize writing. Like set it up like a job. Don't make it something to where like, oh, maybe if I feel like it's Saturday, I will, because it's never going to get off the ground. Writing is something where you have to be consistent, because we as humans, we have to see things over and over and over for us to want to bite. So that's where you have to be consistent. You said, are you a comedian because you are hilarious? No, I'm not. I don't think I'm funny, actually.
No, that was one of my questions. Because you are hilarious in this book. We crack up all the time. And the reason why I keep saying you're so LA is because the terminology, how they be cracking on folks, it's not the same as in the South. It's not the same as on the East Coast. It's not the same in Northern California. It's clearly, I think people confuse Northern California and Southern California, that it's all the same. It's not.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So what was your hardest book to write or series? And then what came easy for you?
Okay. Hardest book to write. I wouldn't say, well, thank God, I don't think any of them are hard. I would say the most challenging is Crenshaw Kings, just because it's something I've never done before. I've never done interconnected standalones, and it's a different process than series or standalones. It's like a mixture of the two. So that was the most challenging series, because even though you move on to a new brother, you still have to kind of keep updating everybody else. You can't just completely have them out of the story and we don't know what's going on with them, because that's just not natural. So yeah, I would say that one was, this series right now is the most challenging for me. The easiest one that came easy, I would say King and Queen of the Hood. That one was easy for me because I leaned a lot into LA culture, like with the gangs and things of that nature. And that was just something that I knew very well. Like Crucial's whole personality was something that I had seen and been around. And yeah, a lot of the book and the background, especially between him and Andrika, and the issue with them being together because she was with somebody from a rival gang, a lot of that was just something that I've seen or been around or heard about. So that one was pretty easy for me. And it was fun. So
one thing I do notice in some of your older books, not necessarily in the Crenshaw Kings, is you don't just write one couple, you write two. or
Mm-hmm.
sometimes you might sneak a third one in there.
Mm-hmm.
Was that by design?
Yes. So I used to do that just because a lot of times I would get bored with the same couple, especially when you're doing 2, 3 books. And so to kind of stop that from happening, I would have other couples as well because it kind of would give me a break from this couple over here, and you know that way it'll keep my interest because when you're writing a series, you want your interest to be peaked at all times because if not, that's when you start seeing series are incomplete, and things of that nature. So you always want to go into something making sure your interest is fully there and it's going to stay there for the duration of the series. So that's why I did that.
So in the Crenshaw Kings, you have how many more books too?
Too. Mm-hmm.
So I can figure out who the next brother is.
Yes. Yes.
Um,
Mm-hmm. The last brother.
and the sister.
Yes. And then Banks. Yes.
Did you were you when you wrote the marriage favor? Did you know that you were going to be writing each kid too, or was that just something that just happened? Based on the popularity of the marriage favor.
Yeah. So I knew I was gonna write it like interconnected standalone. So yeah, it was always the plan. The order I was gonna do them in did change. But yeah, it was always a plan for them for it to start with Lasara and Prime. I was about to call him Chianti and Prime, and then for the sons to come after. Yeah.
For the readers, so I had a question and it just totally just went that way.
I hate that.
Oh my god, it just went all over my head. Okay, which character do you identify best with,
Hmm.
or is most like you?
It's most like me. I don't know if I should tell y'all that. No, I'm just playing. Um, Most like me.
As far as maybe character traits, or more like your
Yeah.
personality, or something that you might
Yeah.
do on a day to day. It doesn't have to be everything.
Yeah, I would say it's not just one. I would say there are like a couple, but I would say the most I would say that has more traits like me would maybe be like Anastasia. Um and I say that because I'm the type of person where I don't like sympathy, I don't like pity, I don't like stuff like that. And sometimes if I know that certain information will cause a person to feel sympathetic towards me, I won't tell them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of how she was. Like she did not um, want to be pitied, and and I don't like asking for help either. That's something that I don't like to ask for assistance, and that's kind of how she is too.
Okay. Okay. Is it hard to write characters that you cannot stand?
No, it's pretty fun actually. I a lot of times when I see you guys like, oh my god, I hate her. Like I'm usually laughing when I read those messages because it's like the whole time I was like proofreading it, I'm laughing. Like Tierra was a little irritating in LaQuay's book. I will admit that. But in Shakur's book, I think she was funny. Like I was cracking up at like the stuff that she was like thinking. Like like girl, you are crazy. Like, do you hear this? You hear what you're saying? Like, you know? And so yeah, most times no, it's fun. It's actually fun to write people that are like delusional or don't get it. Yeah, the only time I've been like a little bit irritated was like I said, LaQuay's book because she was kind of just irritating, but she served her purpose. I wanted her to be irritating. So
Who's the most hated villain
uh,
besides Tierra? But I mean, it wouldn't really be Tierra, but
most hated. Hmm.
because what happened in Boss Chicks? It was somebody got on my nerves. Oh,
Are you talking about Toddy?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. I think the most hated now, I would say is probably Kmart. Um, yeah, I see a lot of people there like they hate him, they can't stand him. And I say now because it wasn't like that when the series was current and new. Like he actually had a lot of people that were rooting for him and like posting think pieces in my group about how he was a good person and Ricky AK was a bad friend and Bia was uppity, like literally. But now, I guess because they were reading it live, and I guess because the wait in between each book, I guess you have a different perception versus reading it back to back. But yeah, I would say him. It old Kmart.
Listen, when I tell you I read that, I was like, okay, so this is how she doing it, right?
Yeah, I
This
was
is
like,
what we doing, right?
yeah, I was like, I want to have a character that's like not predictable because kind of when you read those characters, you're kind of like, oh, I know they're gonna eventually shape up and it's gonna come together. And I was like, no, mm-mm, it's not enough.
I thought you had me so on edge in Boss Chicks, and I'm sorry if I keep going from different story to different story. You had me on. I thought I didn't think that Cruz, what was his name? Blackman and Lyle was gonna make it.
Yeah, yeah, I like for people to like not know.
Cause I was like,
Which,
did he really or did she? Wait, hold on. Is she? Are they gonna make it? I was
yeah,
like, okay.
yeah.
That's funny.
Sometimes it's like I don't know if they could come back from this.
What's the ingredients to a good character?
Good character. I would always say, you want them to be focused on the romance, but they also need to have their own life. You don't want a character that revolves around the female main character or vice versa. So a good character has their own personality and thoughts and things going on outside of that relationship. So
What do you love about being an author, and what do you hate about it?
well, I love creating stories and the characters and stuff like that. What I hate about it, just some of the entitlement from some readers. Not all. I got most readers are pretty respectful and things of that nature. But you do have some that are entitled. They feel like if I'm paying for a product, you need to do what I want you to do. Um, and it's not fun to run into those types of people. I used to back when I first started my career. I used to go toe to toe. Like you hit me up with some BS, we gonna be going at it. Now though, like I don't even read most messages if I can tell from the first couple of sentences if you on some BS. So I'll just block them. Now that's usually what I do is I block people. So that part's not fun because people feel like because you're on social media you're accessible, they can say
Right.
anything and whatever to you. So
I was going to ask you that. I was going to like, how do you deal with the craziness of social media? I know that as a few other authors, that are making names for themselves, they have to put up
yeah,
parameters.
you gotta block them. Like I said, I used to engage, but then I realized like some of them want that. They want you to engage in that way. Um, so I'm not doing it. I'm gonna just block you and that's it. So
And there's that.
yeah, exactly.
um, Book covers. How important are book covers for you?
Yeah. Um, so they're very important because even though we say don't judge a book by its cover, we do. So but it's natural. If people see that you didn't invest a lot in your cover, they're gonna assume you didn't invest a lot in the story. Same way if I read a synopsis and I see the synopsis is riddled with errors, your book probably is too, It's just those things go hand in hand. So you always want to have a nice, attractive cover if you can. Because I know, a lot of this stuff is not cheap and a lot of people are independent, but you definitely want to invest in a nice cover. you don't want to subscribe to the let me just get the book out there, because some readers, they'll read a bad book by you and they'll never read you again. They don't care who recommended you. They don't care how many years it's been, how much you've improved. You claim they're not going to read you because I read that one book and it was terrible, or whatever. So have everything together, the cover, the editing, all that. So
Do you care about reviews?
mm, mm, I do, but I don't. And what I mean is, I do care about reviews if it's pertaining to a quality issue, meaning something in the book is the quality of it is bad. Meaning, like, if they're like, "Oh, this book is badly edited. It was so many errors I could barely read." That's something I obviously care about, because that's something wrong with the quality of the work. Opinions, I don't really care about, because it's an
A
opinion.
book is a book.
There's books that I've read and I'm like, wow, that was amazing. And I read the reviews and people are ripping it to shreds. So it's like we all have different opinions. There's books that I think were terrible and people love it. So you don't really want to change what you write or how you write based on an opinion. But a quality issue, you kind of have to pay attention and address that, because that means there's something wrong with the book. It's not arguable. Either your editing is bad, or you're mixing up names, stuff like that. That I would care about, but an opinion, no.
I am a person who don't like to give bad reviews. I just rather not do a review.
Mm-hmm.
If I feel like it's too much, I'm and I don't know why I'm like this, but I'll just send you an email, hey, or a message, hey,
Mm-hmm.
I read such and such. Do you mind if I give you some constructive criticism? Not so
Yes.
much my opinion, because my opinion doesn't matter. The story is the story. That's just
Right.
how I feel.
Mm-hmm.
Whether I agree with how it would or not,
Mm-hmm.
who I was rooting for didn't win.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
But if I see plot holes, or if I see like um, maybe the timeline is off, I'll be like,
Right.
okay,
Yeah.
well,
See, yeah, those are quality issues. So yeah,
yeah.
yeah, definitely.
But I'll say, do you mind if I give them to you? You say no, I'm not giving to you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If you
Yeah.
say yes, I'll be like, okay, so here's
Right.
the example. You know, going forward, you might want to pay more attention to this. You
Right.
know, I don't really care about the misspellings unless it's just so many.
Right.
But
Yeah.
every now and then you're going to catch a misspelling.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just humans. Yeah.
But some people feel like everything has to be perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that you as authors, you as an author, know, you're striving for that, but you're not going to catch everything all the time. You want to speak to that?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's true. You're a human writing the book. It's a human editing the book. So, you're bound to run across something. Long as it's not just to the point where you can't even read the book, then yeah,
Right.
I can understand that. But if it's just like small stuff, then yeah, I don't. It's gonna happen. We're human, so even computers make mistakes. So
All right. Is it easy to humanize your characters?
mm, it depends what character it is. Like, if it's a normal character, then yeah, it's pretty easy. But a character like Ocean, that was a little bit more difficult. Because I had to make the things that he was doing logical in his head, because obviously to someone who's sane, you're gonna be like, dude, just try again. Like, why are you putting cameras in her house and all this stuff? So that was difficult because I wanted to make him somewhat likable, but I also wanted to make the things that he was doing make sense to him. You understand? So that was kind of that was a little difficult for me with him. Making him be how he was. So
One of the things I appreciate that you did in a lot of your books is when you talk about the shoes, the
mhm.
corduroy slippers.
Oh yeah, yeah,
And I don't know if y'all know this, but if you've ever watched anything like LA,
yeah,
they got them corduroy slippers on,
yeah,
or they might have some khakis on.
yeah.
I love how
Definitely.
you detail, the characters, the scenes,
Hmm.
so that it fits within the space in which you're going. I love it. I don't know why I'm so enthralled with that, but I am.
Yeah.
Um, question:
Mhm.
What would your readers be shocked to know about you?
Mm, shocked to know about me. Hmm. I don't know about shocked, but I guess like a fun fact, a weird fact, I guess, like I can't eat food around like dolls, like Barbie dolls, baby dolls. Like I immediately will lose my appetite.
Really?
Yeah, and like my daughter's like, oh, she wants her baby doll at the table while we eat, and I'm like,
No. I'm not
yeah,
hungry anymore.
yeah. So yeah, I don't know what it is about them, especially if I'm eating like macaroni, anything with cheese. I cannot eat like if a doll or anything is in the room like that. I don't know what it is. It just makes me lose my appetite. So
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Okay. Um, that's different. I mean,
No,
it's
I say
okay.
I told you. I said I warned you.
No, no, it's different. That's
Yeah.
different. Dolls, huh? Like I have one person, and y'all have to go back and figure out which author it is. She is scared of balloons.
Really? Dang, I can't imagine like her at a party.
Mm-mm. She said she can't do them. She can't do them. What are three things that you have to have in order to create?
Mm. Water, um, my headphones. I don't listen to anything. I just like the noise cancellation of it. Like it's quiet because I can only write when it's quiet. Um, and usually like a snack, some type of snack, like
Okay.
chips, anything like quick.
So just something to munch on while you just
Yeah.
typing away. How
Mhm.
fast do you turn around your books?
Mm, okay. Um, so it takes me about a month to write the book. So
Mm-hmm.
about 100 to 150K. But then I spend a lot of time proofreading, removing things, adding things. So that kind of takes a little bit more time. So it takes me about to do write the whole book and proofreading and all that, probably about a month and a half, depending. Because sometimes I'm very like meticulous, and the proofreading and switching things around process will take a little bit longer.
Okay. What trope, not trope, what genre that you haven't written that you want to write?
Hmm. Mm, I don't know. Does like contemporary romance count?
You haven't written, no, you don't write contemporary.
Mm-mm. No, I don't.
Yeah, that
um,
counts. That counts.
yeah,
Do you
I'm
think? Do you think that will go?
right. Um, or thrillers, but I don't know. I feel like with thrillers, it takes a lot of work because you have to be like you have to have good twists, but the twists have to make sense. Like you can't just throw a twist in there for shock factor because that's stupid. So, but yeah, thrillers too.
Okay, okay. I want to see that contemporary romance.
Yeah, me too.
Do you think that is it applying pressure can be considered light, like a smidge of dark?
I'll say this. I think it's dark romance for black readers, not so much for white readers, because some of the stuff that I've seen that is in some of those dark romance books are like makes Ocean look like he's running a daycare or something. But So no, but I think that we just read different things. So in our world, ocean is a little bit darker than what we typically read about. So I think it's kind of.
I see the trend that a lot of authors are trying their hand at dark romance. Do you think you'll go darker?
Mm, yeah, I mean, I could go because to me, I know some people are like ocean was like all the way to the left, but personally to me, I don't think he was. I think it was like a light, like just a little splash of it. So yeah, I definitely could go a little bit darker. I actually have a plan for something, so.
Oh Lord Jesus. Oh Lord, I'm about to be sliding down the wall. I could tell, I could tell. Um, do you what's too far in a book? What's too far that you'll be like, I'm not putting that in my book ever.
um,
Or do
some of these books have like bullying type of romances. Yeah, I can't, especially when they're like when it involves like sexual assault and stuff. It's like no, you can't come back from that. Like how is this main male character gonna come back from that? Like no. So yeah, the whole bully thing, that's not my thing. I would never do that because
what
you're not
about Polly?
redeemable at that point.
What about Polly?
Yeah, I would do that.
I'm excited.
I won't say anything else.
So you must have something coming down. You
No,
must have something coming down.
plead the fifth.
Okay. Do you have to have visuals when you write?
No, I make up how they look, and then after I write the book, I like go search the internet for somebody that look close enough or has the vibe, and that's who I kind of use just to give readers a visual. But no, I just in my head.
What about AI?
No. I mean, I understand why people use it. It's easier than having to hunt for models, especially because a lot of models are being recycled. But like I have a friend who's an artist, and it just takes away from some of what artists are trying to do, because I think that's what it is, if I'm not mistaken. There's like taking art from the internet and using it for the images. So yeah. So right now I'm still using real people. I think on my covers like Crenshaw Kings. In the future, I think I'm just gonna like either not have people or use real people.
Do you feel like it's harder to find models now that they're being recycled so much?
Yeah, yeah, because everything, because it, I mean, depending on the artist, because some artists are good enough that they could use a model that's been used over and over and over and it looks nothing like any other cover. So yeah, it is harder to find some of these models, but I think if you just have a really good cover designer, they can make it look different enough if you have to have people on your cover.
All right. Wait a minute. I had another question. I wrote it on the back.
It's like, wait, I want
Uh,
to make sure.
uh, 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 no. Wait. I got those everywhere.
I see. I'm like, oh, she picked up a different paper.
What? Okay. And I wrote this question specifically for you. How do you feel your books resonate with your readers? I feel like how are they so relatable for readers? Because it seems like they just be flocking when you release.
Yeah. Um, I don't know. I don't know if if they're relating to them. I think it's more of like they know like this is gonna be a good time. More so like this is gonna have some drama. I can possibly come out of it with a new boo. Um, and it's just gonna be a good time and escape. So
Do you ever get worried that you would have to recycle old tropes, old storylines to make them new and fresh again?
uh No, I hope I will never have to do anything like that or run out of creativity. Um, but yeah, that is a pretty scary thought. But no, it hasn't hit me
Yeah.
yet, not till just right now.
Because I mean, I've read a couple of authors before, and I was like, didn't they write something like that before?
Yeah.
I'm gonna need y'all to rethink again. Oh Lord,
Yeah.
here goes this puzzle piece. Just 1 second. I'm sorry. All right. Um, how do you think social media help with sales? Getting your books out there, getting people to know who you are. Do you feel like that is advantageous for you?
Yeah, because most of your success will come from word of mouth. So if people are telling people like this book is good, because most people are going to trust their friend who told them a book is good or an associate that told them a book is good versus, me just seeing it on the internet or you promoting it or posting quotes because we don't want our time wasted. So I'd rather listen to someone I know, like, girl, this book is good. I promise. You like, ooh, cool. I'm not gonna waste my time going into this because she
Right.
already told me it's a good time. So yeah, social media is important for that because you can obviously reach way more people. And if those people get to talking, that's always good.
Do you feel like social media is because back in the day you used to sell out the trunk of your car. Do you feel like, okay, I don't have to do the physical work anymore? I mean, I'm going to attend these book events, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to be in my trunk and at these book fairs all the time. Do you feel like it replaces?
Yeah, I feel like it's it's just easier because you have that reach just from your phone versus back in the day it was like if you didn't get out and go to these events and things like that, no one would know you.
Mhm.
So yeah, I definitely think it replaced having to do a lot of that legwork to promote and get yourself out there and things like that and get noticed.
Do you feel like going to book events is necessary?
mm, I wouldn't say it's necessary because you can be successful without it. I didn't really start going to book events until like 23, I want to say. Yeah, I want to say like 2023. No, 22. So yeah, I don't think it's necessary. Um, but it's just an extra promotion because yeah, when you go to these events, there are people who have read your books and they want to meet you, but there are also people who are just going to these events and they're just shopping. They've never heard of you and they run across your book. So it's a extra little bit of push just to get your book into people who have never heard of you or have never read it before. So, but I don't think it's a necessity. You can definitely be successful without it, but